Hey, how's it going, guys? So we're back with another Star Citizen video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We're going to be checking out two videos. One is very short and the other one is a lot longer. So, and they're both from the Star Citizen channel. The first one is called What is IAE? Intergalactic Aerospace Exposition. Man, I almost forgot. And the next one is called the IAE Show Episode 1. So it looks like we'll be focusing on the Intergalactic Aerospace Exposition 2954. So I just finished watching the years 51, 52, and 53, literally within the last 2 hours, give or take. So now we're going to be jumping into the current one and the brand new one. And I'm really excited to see what they're about. So without anything else, let's just jump right into it. Came out yesterday.
Welcome to IAE 2954, the biggest in-game spaceship convention in the Star Citizen universe. Every year, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo invites players to explore the universe. You can dive in and play for free during the convention, whether you're into mining, hauling, bounty hunting, or something else entirely. Join the celebration. Check out the ships up close. Over 150 vehicles are free to fly during the convention, with a different ship manufacturer and lineup featured every day.
So that's what you guys have been mentioning to me. You guys kept on saying like the ships are for free to fly this day and that if I happen to get into it, but I don't know if I'll have time. So that's why I'm watching these videos, guys. But and when I say I don't have time, I mean like actually playing and doing all that. That's what I meant. All right, IAE Show Episode 1.
And that, where's my...
From the show floor, the new starter from Crusader.
The Intrepid is the newest starter ship from Crusader Industries. Specializing in cargo delivery and lightweight combat, it carries several unique characteristics that set it apart from others of its class. The Intrepid carries its 8 SCU of cargo in 2 freight elevators, which also serve as additional entry and exit points in emergency situations.
I did watch the Crusader Intrepid review video by Morphologist, so I already have some idea what the ship is, or what it looks like, and its capabilities.
And while its armament might seem modest, the Intrepid bolsters an exceptional size 4 weapon hardpoint, giving it an edge over other starter ships when piloted well. Whilst this starter ship's distinctive design pays homage to Crusader's larger starfighter ships, its dedicated engineering terminal also ensures efficient operations for any challenges ahead. The Crusader Intrepid looks to be a worthwhile entry into IAE's showcase of vehicles aimed at entrepreneurial pilots making their initial foray into industry. And you can find it on this year's show floor to consider for yourself.
Despite official denials by leaders throughout the Empire, sources now confirm the existence of Legionnaires, the UEE's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Their purpose, to defend human freedom against Vandal and the forces of tyranny and evil throughout every corner of the galaxy. And they can now be yours in the comfort of your own quarters. The next wave of authentic Legionnaire figures and vehicles. There's Shadow Stranger with Hornet Ghost, Hound Dog with Hornet Tracker, Sandstorm with Tumbrel Nova, Dr. Parasite with Terrapin Medic, Major Dauntless with Crusader Intrepid, and General Jax McCleary with the RSI Polaris. And while the UEE may not be able to confirm the existence of Legionnaires, you can recreate your favorite scenes from the hit show on Spectrum. And don't forget to buy 2, so you can always keep one new in box, in case you're ever crazy enough to sell one. Legionnaires, they'll send the Vandal back where they come from. Pyro Playground sold separately, requires meshing for assembly.
Wait, requires meshing for assembly?
The IAE Show. Brought to you from New Babbage, the site of this year's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and your guide to the future of spacecraft and vehicles in the verse. Up next, we discuss A Time to Kill with Rich Tyra, John Crew, and Jared Huckabee. Don't change the channel, it's the IAE Show, and it starts right now.
All right,
All right,
let's get
thank
into
you
it.
so much. Welcome to the IAE show. I'm Jared. We're here talking with Rich and John about the future of space combat, spaceship operations in our Persistent Universe game. There's a couple topics we're going to cover, one today and then two more as we go. I want to talk about
So 2 more
something that is
episodes
at the
overall.
core of the entire spaceship experience, and that's time to kill. Now, right now in Star Citizen, as players have known it since 2015, your ship can take a few shots and then it goes, poof, fiery explosion. A very impressive fiery explosion. Shout out to Mike Snowden and his team there. But that's not the experience that we've been building towards. And a lot of the changes that we announced at CitizenCon with insurance and whatnot, these are tied into the future direction of spaceships and life on board spaceships. Talk to me about time to kill. How long are these ships supposed to last? Are they supposed to go up like confetti like they currently do? And what's the vision for space combat supposed to be?
I think the first thing we need to talk about is moving away from time to kill and move towards time to disable. Because in the PU, ships are not always going to explode, but we want you to be in that loop of wanting to own your ship. Loss should matter, and we want you to put time and effort into your ship, and that means time and effort into keeping your ship alive, and if something does happen, getting it back.
We've talked about physicalized damage in the past. Is this just a matter of getting that physicalized damage system in, or is there more to it than this?
First off, physicalized damage is tied to our Maelstrom system, which you probably didn't know, but we saw for the first time in action for the Squadron demo. All the ships, for example, in the turret sequence were set up with Maelstrom and using our physicalized damage system. We're moving towards more a physically based system that actually works out the speed of the projectile, the collision, and then generates the force, and that force then dictates the damage that's associated with the ship itself. And what that means is that opens up a whole new area of gameplay for piracy, taking those ships back, repairing, going back to your ship, to actually either take it back to your own crafting hangar to be able to dismantle it for resources, or if you're the pirate itself, you can actually take it to the council and get your own ID on there. But ultimately, while we have soft death in the game right now, that's kind of a faked soft death. It's kind of just a slightly move in that direction, but it's not the full physicalized system that we've been working on for a long time. When John says loss matters, it's something we need to start talking about. And if I have lost my ship and it does take a long time to get back, how does that impact me if I'm playing the game? What happens if that's my only ship? And I think that's where we need to start thinking about a more complex algorithm to deal with insurance claims and how you get your ship back. And then that directly ties into the TTK or TTD, time to disable, for us to be able to get these ships back. So if you think of, say, starter ships or ships that are small in nature, so like an interceptor or
sorry for pausing right there, but I still remember the Squadron 42 gameplay, and it was really great. Being in that turret and seeing how they're like shooting down the ships and all the explosions and things like that, it was really great. So it looks like they're pushing into improving, and I'm still trying to get an idea of what they were saying. So you know what? Let's just keep watching and maybe I'll get some more ideas. My bad.
Some of our small racing ships, those ships should be, like I said in the 1.0 talk, should always be readily available. So if you lose those ships, we don't really want to punish the player. It needs to be a symbiosis where loss matters and it needs to be impactful to your game experience, but it can't be so impactful that it stops you playing the game. Then it essentially curves up towards the more extreme scenarios. We need to have this almost
how to hold on to your
agile
ship and
algorithm
things like that.
Basically allows us to work out, like, okay, how many times have you lost your ship in the last hour? Does this player have only one ship on their account? How do we take that into account to make the player experience fair?
Of course, that's the ultimate penalty, loss of your ship.
So basically
Until that
balance.
point, we've got features like resource networking, which is the beginning of this time to disable, this extending the length and life of your ship to make it so that not only does it not explode right away, but the players, the members aboard the ship, have more opportunities to repair the ship. What is that experience supposed to be like on a single player ship? How do we keep that alive longer to the larger ones?
It's a two-way thing. Obviously, time to kill, time to disable is generally thought about as the aggressor's point of view, but it also matters to the victim of this combat encounter. We can't have it be so quick that you have no chance to do anything about that. So with physical damage and resource network, it moves it away from being a just sort of race to zero on the health. Items will start malfunctioning, forcing that person to make a decision of, am I going to flee? Am I going to deal with this now and take the risk? And then on the flip side, that gives you, as the aggressor, the chance to go, what do I want to do with this disabled ship now? Obviously, single seaters have less room for options.
Okay, so now I'm getting a little bit more better understanding. Sorry about that. So basically ways to repair your ship and increase the longevity of your ship as well, and also balance out the fairness of playing. And on top of that, what he said about the being an aggressor, like this part right here.
Disabled ship. And it gives you, as the aggressor, the chance to go, what do I want to do with this disabled ship now? Obviously.
And more opportunities and more options of like the spoils you gain, and also what you want to do with certain items with the ships. So it looks like ships is the #1 topic in this episode, and he mentioned 2 more topics. That means there's going to be 2 more episodes. I'm guessing maybe one of them is going to be like combat, so that way you're playing with people on the same level as you, but I don't know what the third one would be.
Obviously, single seaters have less room for options in this scenario, but really the bulk of that gameplay is on the larger multi-crew ships, where you'll be moving around inside your ship, repairing, replacing relays. The engineer will be diverting power to different systems, just to sort of give everybody enough time to decide what they want to do in that scenario. And there's so many different scenarios that can be done.
Sounds like we're building a progression here. Are the larger ships intended to last longer? They have more lifespan. There's more that you can do to keep them alive. Am I sensing this right? Is there a progression here?
Absolutely. I mean, ultimately, we want you to progress in the game and build your fleet, whether that's solo or with a group. You need to be able to have some level of understanding that you're not going to lose it straight away. And the other aspect that I think is really important to see about in terms of when you say progression, it's not just progression for the TTK or TTD for across the entire spectrum of the game, or the progression for the player, the victim or the defender, or versus the attacker. When your ship is disabled, there's no way to bring that back. When we have the proper version where your ship components are gone and utilizing the physicalized damage, you can bring that ship back. And that's the huge difference. And that opens up this entire gameplay loop where you have towing and repair, and maybe somebody can repair it for you. And that's what, they've opened a nearby shop, so they're a repair shop and they give you good chances to repair versus cheaper prices than taking it to an LZ or a space station. So I think when we talk about progression, especially from my perspective, I want to see progression across all the professions. And hopefully people start to see, and it's the reason why we wanted to talk about 1.0, people start to see how all these things connect together. There's a reason why we did all these things over the last 2 or 3 years. It's not like we were just throwing a dart at the dartboard and hoping that, what feature is next. We had, it's that grand plan about trying to bring them all together. But ultimately,
it took years to get to where they are now.
Focus and connect all of the gameplay systems. And I think this is a key part of that.
Yeah, no, that's really exciting. This TDD, we're gonna have to get in the habit of calling it TDD now, doesn't just open up the life of the folks who own these ships in combat. I'm really excited about it opening up, like you said, repair, refueling, rearming, all these things.
Absolutely.
It's like your ship hull is still there. Even passenger transport, like, hey, I need to get back to my ship, but maybe it's still in a conflict zone and everything, so I need help to get back. There's so many opportunities that increasing the lifespan of these ships gives to the game.
And just to be clear as well on that front, they're not end game professions either.
No.
Every profession in the game should have a starting location, so you can become self-sufficient if you want to play by yourself and you want to try and figure it out on your own. But then you can also engage in the community and be online. So there's definitely avenues that are available to you. You mentioned the difference between PvE and PvP. So these changes on the surface sound great from a player versus player standpoint, from a player making their life in the verse, but trying to do some of our more basic missions and realizing that, okay, well, this time to disable change could make some of those missions tedious if it were applied unevenly across. There's 2 things to take into account.
So like I said, balancing it out.
If we look at the balance across the entire game right now, and I'm going to say end game, the current end game, because the current end game really kind of finishes with medium ships. We don't really have the large ship gameplay that we want to add. But the current end game is probably too easy, And the current starter position in terms of the balance of these missions is too hard.
Give us some for the PvEers.
And the second thing was for PvP and PvE. So you kind of have this opposite end of the spectrum. You have this end of the spectrum, which is PvE side, where we want you to be the hero. And in that scenario, while we want to have challenging missions where you're going up against a high target bounty who's in a single ship and his ship is really well repaired, but we also want you to be able to go up against 4, 5, 6 ships as an encounter. Where we're going to start balancing that aspect is that those ships will probably be owned by bandits or pirates, and they'll be less well repaired, so they will be easier to kill or easier to disable. So if you talk about the PvE side, I think more ships will end up going critical and blowing up, so that you're not left with just these 5 ships. And it's also part of the economy balance that we don't want you to just constantly be collecting ships. But ultimately we'll have that, we will balance it.
Those big heroic experiences where you feel like a badass killing.
You don't want to be fighting the same 5 things for an hour.
Right. Exactly.
Disabling them all one by one. You want them all to go.
And then on the PvP side.
Okay, so more balanced experience, and doesn't want to be boring, like you're doing the same thing over and over again, so a little bit more variety, a little bit more fun. So that's really good to see that they're taking all that into accountability, but making those changes and improvements will take a lot of work and a lot of time. Because as they said, they started this years ago and they're still working on it too.
We want to make sure that, well, even if you're in a starter ship and you're in a starter ship and we go and fight each other, or I'm in a medium ship and you're in a medium ship, we don't want to be in a position where 5 seconds it's gone. But ultimately, I think you're going to get greater enjoyment if you had to work for it and you had to have some level of challenge. And that's where we want to be in a position where we can look at PvE and PvP and we can balance them in a way that gives us the best experience for both of those players. And I think this comes back to what I said at CitizenCon. We genuinely want to strive that everybody who wants to play Star Citizen, that there is a role in the verse for those players, and that they have something that they want to work towards and achieve. And ultimately, if they're going to, spend their free time, we have a duty to make sure that we are providing fun for those players.
All right, so thank you guys so much. That's time to kill, or time to disable, new term for the lexicon. Up next, we're going to ask John Crew to take us on a photographic tour of his 4 dogs. It's 2 Spaniels and 2 Labradors. Stay tuned.
Really? We'll be right back. So now we're going to take a look into dogs.
The whole story.
LA
but
2013.
There's still a lot you don't know.
Please don't sit. Did you do it? Running out of time. Round the verse.
Perfect.
What are they planning?
Mark Avon is the bug maker.
Prequel shows are all the rage these days.
Bug makers.
It's easier than the show about fixing them ever was.
Welcome everybody to the return of Quantum Questions, where we take a senior developer, put them on the hot seat, and make them answer as many questions in under 2 minutes as they can. Joining us on the show this week is Vehicle Art Director, Mr. Ben Curtis. Ben, how you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. You excited?
A little bit nervous and excited, yeah.
Let's put 2 minutes on the clock.
All right.
And begin. Who are you and what do you do?
My name's Ben Curtis, and I am Vehicle and Weapons Art Director at CIG.
Are you any good at it?
I hope so. I'll back us aside.
Jeffries tubes, yay or nay?
100% yes.
Why did the Polaris get so many new guns?
Because you want capital ships to be able to destroy things. But no, really, it just got PDCs.
Yeah. Speaking of PDCs, are other ships going to get them now that they've arrived with the Polaris?
Yeah, we've added them to some existing ships already, and anything kind of capital ship and larger should get them.
Does that include the 890 jump?
Correct, yes.
Are you happy with the Polaris?
Very happy.
Tell us one of the ships from that CitizenCon tease of the next 12 months.
The Perseus.
Ooh. Can you tell us another?
No.
Why don't we make more variants of existing vehicles?
I think when it comes to variants, it's a balance of backlog ships, new ships that we want to try and do, and then kind of variants, and it's just really getting them slotted in together.
If you could make a new variant of an existing vehicle right now, what would it be?
A bounty hunter cutter.
Oh, nice. What will be the next variant of an existing vehicle?
Super Hornet.
Retaliator modules. Which
Yes.
one are coming next?
Probably the dropship and habitations aspect.
What was your favorite temporary internal name for a ship or vehicle that never made it to the public?
We've come up with a code name, and all I'll say is you've got to catch them all.
Okay. Will the Connie get a Mark V after seeing how cool the Zeus is?
Probably not a Mark V, but it will get an update.
Okay. Caterpillar modules. Give us something tangible. What are we thinking?
I think we've obviously got cargo at the moment. I think there's lots of opportunities. We could do exotic cargo. We could do, I know everyone wants a mini carrier or that sort of mini ship. Med base, lots of opportunities.
Okay. Carrick blast shields?
Yes, in 4.0.
Carrick cargo doors?
In 4.0.
Oh, I'm going to try to squeeze one more in. What is the next manufacturer to get a focus after everyone frees up from the Polaris?
We're still on RSI, but we're also pushing on to larger MISC ships and Drake ships.
And what's the deal with the long dash of the Starlancer?
It's a subjective choice, and I thought it was really cool, and some people don't.
All right, let's find out how you did. And so after part 1, Ben Curtis sets the standard with a whopping 15 questions answered correctly. We'll see if John Crew can best him next time. Up next, Dan McCabe.
2 of them were red.
Really all you need to make every spaceship?
All right, so that was Star Citizen, the IAE show, episode 1. I really liked it. Basically, just like every single Inside Star Citizen, basically we're talking to the people who are the ones improving and creating the content, and having those two discuss the improvements and saying like we're trying to balance out the gameplay, making it not too difficult, not too easy, things like that. And the speed questions in the end, that was pretty interesting. I really like that concept, but I'm really excited to see what the IAE show episode 2 has in store. And what do you guys think about this episode, IAE show episode 1? I say it was very informative, and it gave a really good update as to what they're working on and what's going to be coming on in the future. So I really liked it. So that's all I got for today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And also shout out to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are amazing. You guys are the reason why this channel keeps on going. So without anything else, I'll see you guys next time.